All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Blue. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. We'll just make sure we all know that it's just trying to find the truth, seek understanding, and be the light. And this is actually going to be interesting. It caught my attention, and I'm just like, what is happening here? What is happening in this world right now? It's just weird stuff that's taking place. I don't know. I mean, apparently it may be a thing, it may not be a thing, but I just want to go ahead and get right into it. So I first saw this video. Apparently, Keke Palmer, and we know the situations that Keke Palmer has been. Not really situations, but the things with her baby daddy or boyfriend at the time, but now they're separated. I'm not 100%, but either way, she is where she is now. She was just on a Today Show with Jenna and Sheinelle. That's what I'm going to go with. And she mentioned something that was very interesting in regards to having a partner and living with them or lack thereof. But let's just go ahead and get right into it. As always, if you guys like this kind of content, go ahead and like, subscribe, hit that bell so that you always know when the video is going to come up. And go ahead and leave a comment, yo. Just let me know what y'all thinking as we going along with this video. Let's check it out.
Here's the deal. Instead of on your first date, instead of avoiding touchy topics on a first date, they say the trend now is you're upfront and honest right away. So,
And now, granted, I haven't been in the dating scene for years. I've been with my wife since we were in high school. So I don't know the dating life. So I have very knowledge of what's going on here, but I can say what I've seen while I was in college, the young single folk that I've been talking to now, and I don't know the craziness that people put on TikTok, which we will get into. But let's just keep going.
It used to be if you go on a date with somebody, don't bring up politics. Don't ask if you want to have babies. Don't ask if you want to get married. That's just. But now, apparently, some people are like, what's your politics? Do you want to get married? Do you want to have babies? What do you think about money?
But can you imagine? That's actually good.
You do?
Yeah, just get it out the way, because sometimes you'll end up talking to somebody, y'all never talk about anything real, any of the things that actually show compatibility.
I agree. And let me play devil's advocate. Pretend we're on a first date.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, Keke, yeah, do you want the steak? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so do you want kids?
I could be open, but one thing I need you to know is that I never want to live together.
I have some interesting, first off, I kind of got a new setup going on, and I have some interesting sound effects. I don't want to be too much with it, but I got some sound effects that I could be throwing in these type of things on the fly. Y'all let me know in the comment section if you think it's going to be too much or if I should just keep things where I'm at. So anyways, just that conversation alone, the idea of just being upfront, I never really found out to be an issue. Especially in this time, like, I think I've said this before, but if we ever were to get a point where something, and honestly, it would have to be through death to make me leave my wife. So if God forbid, if anything was to happen, like, honestly, just going back in the dating scene just sounds like a terrible idea to me in the first place. But if I was forced to have to do such a thing, like, yo, we coming up with these questions just straight up because I need to know how much of a headache you're going to be with me just up front. I can deal with so much, and I don't know if it's just me, but I can deal. People say I have a patience of a turtle. I can deal with so much, and I have so much patience for people up to a certain extent. And some things that I know that's going to be an issue, or at least a big issue, will do that. Now, I'm not saying whether politics is going to. Now, the only reason I say that could be an issue is not a matter of what you choose. It's a matter of, based off of how you choose, can really kind of determine the type of lifestyle that you have. Maybe we can then continue to talk about it, but it shouldn't be that we're talking about politics after we done married. And then I find out that, you think about your views on certain things differs completely different from mine. Your values completely different from mine. We're married now. That's crazy. And these shouldn't be tough conversations that should be had, after we done went out and it's been 2-3 years or something like that, and I don't know the nitty gritty of who you are and what you believe. Nah, bro, like, we getting information off the first date. If I choose to go on another date with you, it's because I'm like, okay, this lady has potential, and not only that, it's something that I can work with. I'm willing to continue to see what else that she got going on mentally. not physically, not, things that you take interest in, find things that make you happy and all that good. No, I need to know how much of a headache that you're going to be. And not only that, I need to know where your head is at, where your mindset is at. And can we be equally yoked? I'm too old to not be equally yoked with somebody. So that's a very important part. I agree with her with that sense. But what she's saying now in regards to we got to live apart, that could be trauma that she's experiencing with her whole situation right now. But let's keep going.
But is that real?
That's real.
Oh, wait, are you speaking as Keke?
Yeah,
right
I'm speaking as the Keke.
Not the
Okay, girl. I just feel like, Whoopi Goldberg said it best once. She was like, I don't want nobody in my house.
Yeah.
Wait, time out. You're for real right now?
She's for real.
So
what
married
about, like,
even. Married even.
So
You're married?
Married even.
Around the corner would be great.
What about a guest house? Would you let him live in the guest house?
He can be in a guest house. You know what I'm saying? We can be on the same, land, but I'm over there and he's over there.
Yeah.
At best, separate rooms.
Okay.
So what about, you go to the bathroom, you have the two toothbrushes?
No, so he can mess my bathroom.
Is that your hot take?
But think about how fun it would be to be like, I'm going over to my man's house.
Yeah.
Over there.
Over there.
You know what? It keeps things right.
It's fun and exciting. I want to go sit on his couch.
And he better clean when you're coming over.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? I will say I'm laughing about it, but there are probably people watching right now who agree with you.
Come on.
Many people.
It just helps
And
to
there
keep. I feel like
probably
sometimes
is.
you can be just too up under.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's
Yes,
get
I
some
do.
space.
I love it.
Interesting. The crazy thing is there are some people that actually are living this type of lifestyle. And I wonder, and again, if these are the things that you are partaking in or that you would prefer in a marriage, I wonder, like, what are you building at that point? How can we build anything together when we're separate? And it's just interesting because I don't know, just being separate. Why would we be married in the first place? What was the part of being married? I don't get. I honestly, the whole definition of marriage is you conjoining with somebody else, and this is the part where being married, we have to be very careful with what we're defining as marriage and where we get our definition from marriage from. Because in the biblical sense, which predates everything, predates America, predates Europe, predates a lot of the stuff that we have going on now, the concept of marriage was between a man and a woman. We'll get into that later with more information, or we'll get into that later with another video. And they are to be conjoined as one to then procreate so that the next generation can then do the same. They are supposed to build, when they procreate, they're supposed to build those children up so that they can then grow and do the same. If we're in separate locations, how do we really do that? And the interesting thing that I kept on hearing is the whole mindset just seems selfish. I don't want him to mess up my bathroom, or I want to be able to do my things in my house, and he could do things at his house type thing. Is very that's not what a marriage is about. If you're going to do all that, then just date and don't get married and do whatever, worldly stuff that you plan on doing. But when it comes to a marriage, it doesn't make sense for you to be married. I mean, I think I heard the same thing with what's her name? Cheryl Lee Ralph. Yes, Cheryl Lee Ralph. She said the exact same thing with her and her husband. They live in separate locations. And I'm just like, why would you do that? And you're married? He has his stuff that's going on. I think he's famous or something like that. I don't know who her husband is. She is married to Vincent Hughes. Who's Vincent Hughes? It looks like Vincent Hughes is a senator. So they live in separate locations, and that's just how they do things. And apparently it works. For a lot of people, it seems like it works. But to me, it just seems selfish. I want to be married. I want to have the title of being married, but I still want my own things. I still want my own place. I still want my own privacy, separate from you, even though the whole idea of marriage was to be conjoined as one with your spouse. And again, let me know in the comment section how you feel about this situation, because I want to know. There may be some people that's doing this, and we're about to get into a TikTok. There's this one TikToker, Softly Lauren. Apparently, this thing is called LAT, LAT, living apart together. It's apparently a thing. I don't know. And again, I can see people of the world doing this. I cannot see Christians doing this. If Christians are doing this, then there needs to be serious conversations. And let's go ahead and get to this video, and because she got pros and cons going on. So let's see what these pros and cons are, and then kind of give our perspective from a biblical sense, or at least somebody that should be living in a holy manner, how we should navigate through this. Can Christians even really, is this even necessary as a, let's just go.
Talk about some pros and cons to this living apart together lifestyle, because so many people are still shocked that people choose this life. If you've ever thought to yourself, like, I deeply love my partner, but I also deeply love my own space, then welcome. You
Deeply love my own space. That just sounds selfish to me, but let's keep going.
are in the right.
And I'm not, and she's just going in describing the whole situation that she has going on. And what I'm saying is not directly towards her, because clearly she's saying it in a broad space. I'm saying that idea in a broad space, that is selfish. If you deeply love your partner, but you deeply love your own stuff, that's selfish. I deeply love when I'm home and there's nobody here, but that doesn't mean that I don't want my family here all the time. These are my family. They need to bring their behinds home. The heck?
Community. I'm getting ready to break down some pros and cons of living this life, because these are things that you should know if you're considering this life that nobody talks about but should. First of all, if you're new to the LAT term, it means living apart together, and it is a relationship where two people are monogamous, they deeply love each other, but they do not share an address. This lifestyle is more about having a deep connection with your partner and less about the physical proximity you guys have. Okay, so pro number one is...
Quick pause, because I get this comment a lot. Some people think I'm pushing LAT as a trend or trying to convince other people to do it. Let me be very clear. I don't care what you do in your relationship. I make these videos because people ask me these questions, and because so many others have told me that they're either living this lifestyle or want to live this lifestyle. I'm just sharing my experience. What you do with it is up to you.
Getting to miss your partner. This definitely spices up the relationship, because we don't get bored of the redundancy of seeing each other.
We don't get bored of the redundancy of seeing each other. We get bored. I mean, it is important to maintain the attraction in a relationship. I will give her that. I don't think living apart is necessary to do that. That's just, okay, let's keep going.
Every single day prevents us from falling into the routine of things, and it really alleviates that predictability. Number two is you honestly are having your cake and eating it too, because if you're like me, like I deeply love my husband, but I also really love living by myself. It allows you to have your own space and the routines that you crave without having to constantly consider your partner. Number three is that living apart together gives you the flexibility in your relationship. You guys really get to curate the kind of relationship you want, be it based on the kind of lifestyle each of you want to live, how often you guys choose to see each other, even down to the way that you want your space to look. So for example, if you've watched my videos, you've seen that my home is very light and airy. My husband on the other side, his home kind of leans into darker earth tones, and we both get to get what we want. Number four is more independence and less codependency, because let's be honest, a lot of y'all are codependent in these relationships. When you're living the LAT life, you get to love each other by choice and not by default proximity. Okay, because everything isn't perfect, let's get into some of these cons. Number one is people are going to judge. So be prepared for the endless, are y'all okay? Are y'all breaking up? Is he cheating on you? Are you cheating on him? Whose idea was this anyway? Like, be prepared for all of that endlessly. Next is the LAT life is going to exacerbate anything that was already challenging in your relationship. Bad communicator, highlight it. Not a thoughtful partner, highlight it. You're a terrible listener, highlight it. You honestly have to be intentional about learning the tools that you need to navigate those bad habits, basically. Number three is that arguments are going to take more effort to resolve, right? A lot of times when you live together, you kind of make up in passing, or you stop talking for a couple of days, and then eventually somebody says something funny. That can still happen in the lat life, but it's different because you guys aren't seeing each other every day. So you have to make a real effort to communicate through your problems, which I think is actually a good thing. Number 4 is that the lat life is not for the insecure, baby. If you got trust issues, this is not the life for you. You have to learn how to trust your partner, because checking in every 5 minutes, wondering what they're doing, wondering why they didn't answer your call, yeah, that's not going to make you happy. And lastly, because this is such an unconventional way of living, there is no roadmap. So that means that you're kind of figuring this thing out as you go, making mistakes, figuring out what works. And that can cause a bumpy road, but it could also help you get to know your partner really, really well. So those are some pros and cons. I also told you guys that I'm in the process of creating a guide for the living apart together.
Okay, so a couple of things that I wanted to bring up as she was talking. It's just the thing that she said about trust. That's a whole different level of trust to think that we can have like our own separate location. We're married. We're married. I personally would not want to risk so much, just leave so much room for temptation. What if we, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think females understand how quick it's easy for a man to just do a whole bunch of stupid crap that they probably shouldn't be doing, or get themselves situated get themselves situated with somebody that they shouldn't, all because y'all had a heated argument and they left to go back home, and then they just like, yo, nah, screw it, this homegirl was hitting me up in my DMs, let me go talk to her real quick. And heck, females will do that too. Why would you leave that much room for the temptation and the desire to, going back to the desires of wanting to, keep things spiced up and not be bored? I just don't, if you can't live with somebody and see them every day and not be, and feel like you're still bored because you see them every day, then I don't know what level of love that is. To be bored just because you see somebody every day, I don't know. That's just weird. I mean, leave, go do something, and then come back home, whatever the case may be. I don't know. And maybe that's still not the case, but and I think this is the problem with a lot of people in their relationships, not just in their relationships, but with them as an individual, is that they are so caught up with me that they can't see past that. They're worried about me, my happiness, my my sanity, everything that I've been working for, everything, like my cool space, everything that I set up and all that stuff. Everything, as you can see, when it came to the perks and the pros, it still resulted to me and not the other person. So again, if we're supposed to be one, I'm half, you're half. If I get my fill and you don't, or if I get my happiness and my own thing and everything that I'm doing, and really the only thing that we're doing is just coming up and meeting with each other, and then, spending time with each other for a bit, and then, all right, bye, see you, I don't know, later this week. Even that perfect example. Let's say right now, with the amount of the editing that I do and then the content that I'm trying to push out and stuff like that, I could easily be like, yo, don't come over for a week because I need to stay focused. I need to stay locked in and stuff like that. Eventually, females will feel some type of way. They're not getting their attention that they're needing, that they're wanting, and then they're gonna go find it from somebody else. Oh, okay, you're busy. I'll just go hang out with so and so, homeboy, so and so. God, why are we leaving the room for this? I don't get it. And even when it comes to the communication aspect of it, yeah, it's gonna be terrible communication because I could just go home and not deal with you, and I could just wait until you feel better or you stop being upset, and then I'll come back around, as opposed to trying to figure out exactly what the issue is, because sure enough, it's going to come back up again. And then we're going to be back in the same situation. Now I'm going to be back in my crib. And then sure enough, homegirl is going to hit me from my DMs. I'm be like, all right, well, I'm here. I'm by myself. Bro, too much temptation, y'all. I really don't get it. I get it. But again, that's too much in the sense of a selfish mindset for me to be like, yeah, this is a good idea. Not for, and again, when it comes to a holy matrimony, a true holy matrimony, a true holy and biblical marriage, this is not ideal. This is not ideal. Now, somebody put in a comment section if you feel different, but I don't really see this working out in a truly biblical marriage. How can you build up a family? How can you build? Oh, let me get into that in a second. But how can you build up a household, build a relationship with one another, and then grow in Christ and grow in your faith and live in the lifestyle that God had wanted us to live, but you are separate? You live separately. You don't wake up to each other. You don't spend the majority of the day together. I have my things. You have your things. You still. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. You might as well just still be together. Why get married? Why get married and have this type of lifestyle? What's the point of getting married then? I really don't get it. And then on top of that, kids. So then, what are you gonna do with kids? Do we just co-parent at that part? Are we co-parenting? I don't, which begs me to believe that those that live this lifestyle do not want kids. That's what I understand. Because how is it that we are married and you have the kids? What, I just come over every now and then I go back to my house. I'm not putting the kids to sleep, or if I do put my kids to sleep, then I leave. And then when they sit up and wake up in the middle of the night, you expect me to come drive over there so I could put them back to bed, or you're just going to take care of it? So then when you're the ones that's sitting here taking care of the kids majority of the time, now you're going to be like, oh, they're my kids. I take care of them. Every time we get in an argument, and then I got to go hit up old girl from the DMs. I can talk about some old girl in the DMs, y'all. Because how do you build kids in that? We are struggling right now. This is all feminist movement type thing. I'm thinking, like she was saying, the whole independence thing and not depending on the person when you're in a relationship. Yeah, you shouldn't be fully dependent on somebody, but it's a matter of you give a level of submission, as we see in Ephesians 5. Women are to submit to their husbands, and men are to give their lives to the women, just as Jesus gave his life to the church. How can you do that separately? Because majority of the day, I'm focusing on myself until we meet up, until I hit you up and be like, yeah, come over type thing. What? So then when we go into kids and we're trying to raise up kids, and I'm trying to raise up, if we have a son, I'm trying to raise up my boy. You're telling me that I see him every once in a while. I don't see him every day because I may get too busy at work and I just don't see him. I'm gone throughout the week because I'm out here making videos, trying to do things big, and then I miss out the majority of his life. I know nothing about my kids, and my kids haven't learned the things that he needs to learn as to how to be a man, because we live in two different spots. One during some time he's with me, and then other times he's with you. And again, this is just me. Let me just go to a verse really quick, and I'm gonna end this. Verse 1. Now concerning the matters about the matters about which you wrote, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman. But because of the temptation of sexual immorality, each man should have his own wife, and each woman her own husband. So it's just interesting that we talk about that, because that's a whole temptation. That's a whole situation that man constantly puts themselves in. And what better way to find somebody to mess around with when you're married, when your spouse is not with you? So again, I don't understand. People can sit here and think, oh, nah, I ain't gonna cheat. If you truly love somebody, then you won't cheat. We're human, y'all. Let's just be real. We are human beings. And this is why we need to rely on the Spirit to prevent us from being in these type of situations, and to rely dear on the fact and the truth of trying to remain from sinful natures so that we can avoid this. Why would I purposefully put myself in this situation just so that the temptation could come? We are human. Do not forget. Don't think that you can overcome temptation on your own, on purpose at that. And it's interesting because I scroll down, and granted, this is I don't think it's in direct correlation with what we're saying here, but I could see somebody kind of reaching with this. So in verse 10, it says, to the married, I give this charge, not I, but the Lord. The wife should not separate from her husband, But if she does, she should remain unmarried or else be reconciled to her husband. And the husband should not divorce his wife. Of course, that means divorce, but divorce is a word of separation. But when we really think about it, this is a matter of being separated. You are in different locations. I know plenty of people. Well, let me not say plenty of people. I do know of situations in which there are people that get divorced or get separated and they still claim that they love each other, but they're just separated. They don't live in the same space. Why would we do that? So I guess it kind of does still apply. But y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think. You know, very interesting stuff. I don't know, man. The world is interesting with the decisions that they make. But y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I'm gonna catch y'all next one. Take it easy. Peace.